We did take a shot at trying to find a Hollywood company or a sponsor of some kind. We really just didn't know how anything worked. We just didn't understand the process of things.
It was our own fault, I think, that it was hard. We kept
insisting on doing what we wanted to do. We met through Scott's sister Kelly, who is our production designer and has pretty much worked on everything except for one project that we've made together. And I met Kelly at the San Francisco Art Institute.
I met her first.
Well, Scott I've known my entire life, or his entire life. He's younger than me. And David and I became friends in undergraduate. He started taking photography classes at the Art Institute where I was going to school. And we dated for a little while. Scott and I ran a little family restaurant up in the summer in the Sierras where David spent the summer coming back and forth from San Francisco. And that's where we all met. And since then we've been, you know, really close friends. So it's very, very easy, natural thing to talk about things and create things together.
And Scott was going to be an academic. He was about to start graduate school at Berkeley he was doing Japanese film studies in the rhetoric department at Berkeley. It always comes out in a big sentence like that. And a couple of years later, we just started talking about the possibility of making movies, and it kind of grew from there.
When David finished graduate school, I flew to Rhode Island and helped him pack up his stuff, and we drove across the country, you know, taking the kind of southwestern route, stopped at Graceland along the way, and you know, just started talking about like ideas we had for short films. And it took us a while actually to come up with an idea for our first short film, which was called Bird's Path. But we just kind of took it from there. We made that short film, made another short film, and Suture was our first feature.
Well, we were watching a lot of movies from Japan in the 60s. We watched a movie called The Face of Another that was really influential. We were pretty bold because we were coming from, you know, from art and not from film. I don't think we thought about character development or all the things I think about now.
And for one, I'm not exactly sure why, but we were interested in movies about identity right from the get-go when we started talking about movies and working together. But also a group of American paranoid thrillers like Seconds and The Manchurian Candidate. And so the issue of amnesia or amnesia films and things like that were areas that we were sort of exploring.
Well, for some reason we were both attracted to twins and twin films. Anyway, these sort of twin plots were also circulating in our heads, I think. At the same time we were thinking about paranoid thrillers and identity and psychoanalysis and plastic surgery and all these sort of story elements that, you know, kind of would get at identity from different angles. And, you know, we did kind of set ourselves a goal of coming up with a story that would, you know, play with these, you know, genre plot tropes. And Suture, I mean, the basic plot of Suture kind of came, in a way, almost full-formed, you know, from that soup, I would say.
I mean, it's a pretty simple story that way to kind of, you know, as Scott was saying, it does play off of, you know, sort of tried and true sort of tropes, sort of noirish tropes. But the idea of the conceit, you know, the central conceit of the film of having, you know, a black actor and a white actor and seemingly looking exactly alike. That was what sort of opened up the idea, and so we started from there.
I hope you won't be offended by a small gift. A token of brotherhood. I'm sure you're my size. As you pointed out, our physical resemblance is striking.
To everyone in the movie who's performing in the movie, they look exactly alike. So that's the audience's dilemma.
It was my job to make it work, to convince the audience that I believe that they're the same people.
You can't think about that when you're working. You know, you can't think about it. Only thing I thought about is that, hey, we're identical.